Lamar Jackson just went through one of the most intense moments of the season, right in the middle of celebrating a touchdown. Something unexpected flipped the script and put the Ravens star in the middle of a clash with rival fans. One impulsive move, a shove, and suddenly all the cameras were on him. But what looked like just another heated sideline scuffle turned into something much bigger. At the press conference, Lamar gave an apology so genuine it struck a chord even with the most diehard Ravens fans. And the way he handled it all might completely change the way you see this story. Lamar Jackson was living the kind of moment every quarterback dreams of. After throwing a touchdown in the third quarter against the Buffalo Bills, he ran to celebrate near the stands. But instead of just hearing the usual boos and trash talk that come with play on the road, something unexpected happened. A Bills fan right on the sideline reached out and shoved Lamar's helmet. The reaction was instant. Without thinking twice, Jackson shoved the fan back, pushing him away after crossing the line. It all happened in a split second, but it was strong enough for everyone to notice. What should have been a moment of pure joy instantly turned into tension, and the clip quickly started making the rounds on social media. That mix of game day adrenaline and a fan getting physical created a storm of emotions. Lamar didn't go looking for trouble, but he wasn't about to just let it slide when someone invaded his space. It was one of those moments where you can feel how the heat of competition can turn any detail into a big problem. And of course, when something like that involves an NFL superstar, there's no way it goes unnoticed. Everyone wanted to hear what Lamar had to say about how he reacted. That chance came on Wednesday when he spoke to the media and surprised a lot of people with his response. At that point, it wasn't just about the shove anymore. It was about how Lamar would handle the fallout and the perception that he'd lost his cool. That's when his apology came into play. When he faced the press, Lamar Jackson made it clear he didn't want to make the situation any worse. He admitted he reacted in the heat of the moment, but went out of his way to apologize for the shove. He said it wasn't something he had planned. It was just a gut reaction after being pushed in the helmet. Lamar explained that he understands the emotional back and forth between players and fans. He said hearing trash talk and insults is just part of the game, especially when you're playing in a hostile stadium. But he drew a line. Talking is one thing. Putting your hand on a player is something else entirely. That's where he wanted to set the boundary between healthy rivalry and dangerous behavior. In owning up to it, Lamar also showed a side of himself people sometimes forget. Behind the MVP, there's still a human being who feels, reacts, and can lose patience when someone crosses a line. His genuine apology was a way of trying to move forward, proving he didn't want to drag this controversy along with him. What really stood out, though, was the way he took responsibility, without letting the fan off the hook. It was a balanced response that showed maturity in the middle of the storm. But Lamar didn't stop there. He used the moment to send a broader message to fans everywhere. And that message was sharp, almost like he was speaking directly to every fan who sets foot in the stadium. In that same press conference, Lamar dropped a line that couldn't have been clearer. Fans can yell, talk trash, and even get under a player's skin, but they should never cross the line of putting their hands on someone. Keep your hands to yourself, he said, making it clear this is a basic rule of respect. His tone wasn't angry, but it was firm. It was almost like he was asking fans to understand that there's a limit that can't be crossed. Stadiums are already full of raw energy, where one play can flip the atmosphere instantly. Add physical contact from the stands into mix, and things could spiral out of control fast. That comment also carried a bigger meaning. Lamar knows as one of the league's biggest stars. He's always in the spotlight, and every reaction he gets magnified. Still, he made it clear he's not going to accept a situation where players are treated like physical targets on the field. It was a reminder that respect isn't optional, even in the most hostile environments. At the same time, Lamar's message connected directly to something bigger that happened that same night. He wasn't the only Raven to deal with fan hostility. Running back Derrick Henry also became a target. That connection made it clear this wasn't just about one isolated moment.
All right, we're already past the halfway point of this video, but before we continue, I noticed you haven't left a like yet. It's really important because it helps YouTube keep showing you my content so I can keep bringing you the best news about the Baltimore Ravens. So go ahead and hit that like button. It's free and it really helps. Thanks. Now let's get back to it.
That game in Orchard Park should have been remembered just for the fireworks on the field. But the behavior of some fans made it heavier than that, along with the Lamar incident. Derrick Henry was directly targeted when a bottle was thrown his way during the fourth quarter. Moments like that show how fan passion can sometimes cross every line. For Henry, who was just trying to help close out the win, it wasn't only disrespectful, it was flat-out dangerous. A bottle hurl from the stands can cause serious injury, and there's nothing funny about risking that while playing a football game. The episode added to the sense that the whole atmosphere had gotten out of control. What should have been about competition turned into a matter of safety. Players who step on the field to compete shouldn't also have to worry about being attacked from the stands. And to make it worse, even after all that effort, the Ravens couldn't use that hostility as fuel to finish the job. After leading 40-25, they let the game slip away and lost 41-40, a collapse that only made the frustration even heavier. That ugly ending made it impossible to ignore the need for consequences, both for fans involved and for the players who responded. Right after the shove, the fan who put hands on Lamar was ejected from the stadium with no chance of coming back that night. But it didn't stop there. The NFL came down with an even harsher punishment, sending a strong message that this kind of behavior won't be tolerated. The league's move made it clear they want to protect players and keep games from turning into a free-for-all between fans and athletes. But while the fans' punishment was swift, Lamar's situation is still hanging in the air. The quarterback admitted he hasn't heard from the NFL about whether he'll face any discipline of his own. That leaves a cloud of uncertainty. On one hand, it's easy to see Lamar's shove as a natural reaction to being provoked physically, something anyone might do. On the other, the image of a star quarterback pushing a fan is the kind of thing that raises questions about professionalism. What's clear is that this moment will be remembered not only for the instant reaction, but also for the fallout that followed. As the Ravens try to bounce back from a crushing loss, Lamar also has to deal with the weight of what happened off the field. In the end, this game against the Bills turned into a snapshot of just how thin the line can be between passion and going too far, and how quickly one moment can dominate the headlines. That night against the Bills left a mark that went far beyond the scoreboard. Lamar Jackson's shove, his heartfelt apology, and even the incident with Derrick Henry showed just how fragile the balance can be between rivalry and excess inside an NFL stadium. What should have been a showcase of football became a wake-up call about respect and limits. Now the real question is what comes next for Lamar? He already addressed it in front of the cameras, but will the NFL let it slide, or could a suspension still be looming? And even more than that, will Baltimore fans see this as a sign of weakness, or proof that their quarterback doesn't back down from anyone? One thing's undeniable. Lamar is still the face of this franchise, on and off the field. And when he shows his human side, owning mistakes, apologizing, and pushing forward, it only deepens a bond with Baltimore. Because with him under center, the Ravens know they'll fight until the very last second.
And if you, just like me, are passionate about the world of football and want to learn more about the Ravens' legacy, don't leave this video without sharing it with that friend who is also a Baltimore Ravens fan and will love this content. See those video suggestions on your screen? The first one was handpicked just for you, and the other is a recommendation from YouTube itself. See you there, and until the next video, go Flock.